we have a lot of catching up to do. We have been tardy in our discussions, but a lot's been going on, and we've been releasing some videos if you want to check those out on YouTube, but a lot to cover today. Hello, and welcome to Covert Castaway. I'm Holly.
Je suis Stéphane.
Join us as we share what we learn and how we're making the transition to liveaboard cruising.
Do check those YouTube videos because Holly is spending a lot of her time to do professional work.
I'm just trying to make them look good.
So check those out.
I don't know.
Give it a like. Send her a little comment.
Oh, you're so sweet.
To encourage her.
I do need encouragement. But we got to spend the first night on our boat alone last night, which was really strange because we have had so many people on the boat.
Guests?
Well, no. So let's start from the beginning. So we moved out of the boat. So that was last we spoke to you guys. We were interviewing the Larsons and from Colorado, and they were talking about just having spent some time at Outremer Week. So that's how long it's been, Stefan. And so during that time, we moved out of the boat because we were starting on Navage, and there was a whole punch list of items, and everybody was kind of optimistic those would all get done in 2 weeks, and it's been more than 2 weeks. But we moved into an Airbnb, and let's take it from there. Let's talk about the things we were doing while we were out of the ruckus, as they were sort of pulling off the ceilings and pulling up the floors and everything else, which we'll also talk about.
The blog. I think we migrated to a new platform for a blog, and that needed to be launched. Yeah,
we've been meaning to do that, and it's sort of a complicated story, but the simple story is we wanted an easier way to offer more information to people who were wanting more details. And so because Stefan's so good about keeping Notion up to date and including so much stuff in the Notion site, we just turned our sort of working files into a website, basically.
Work in progress. I mean, yes, for a limited amount of stuff. Our intent is definitely to document the options. There is a list of options we've selected if you go to our boat, but our intent is to document for each one of them, or at least each category, why we chose those options, to give background information, to help others to see, we'll describe our way of thinking, our approach. So that's going to be
and these things can't be communicated in video, I want to document what just happened yesterday. I spent, I think, 8 hours trying to get all of our EPIRBs and AISs registered, and I mean that's a whole adventure. So there is some,
and then we get a lot of questions, and we love people reaching out and asking questions, but we obviously it's time consuming, and of course we want to document those topics that people have always questions on, and refer them to the podcast.
Well, I think what you mean to say is we can answer questions one-on-one, but it's better if we can answer the questions so they're available to more people. So
and if people have follow-up questions to the blog, then we can update the blog. We can answer questions, but we need something that scales better. Of course, priority is to the Navage. Priority is to getting moving,
getting the boat ready, getting ourselves ready.
So we'll be updating blogs as we go, but it's going to take a little bit longer than we wanted to. But keep checking the blog. Yeah,
and the one thing that I worked on when we were there also to check out is the cost to sail calculator. And I've been meaning to do that for a while too. A listener reached out and asked us to share a spreadsheet. I think were listening to some of the previous podcasts we had talking about kind of the financials of how much it costs to scale. So I just made a calculator. So that's actually on our blog too. And it's pretty cool. You just put in your numbers and your assumptions, and out it pops a kind of a multi-year cost. So if you want to go sailing for 2 years, 5 years, 3 years, depending on your boat, depending on your expectations and your assumptions, you can calculate that. So.
And there is another calculator, more of a fun one.
Yeah, we haven't promoted it that much. It's just kind of, how would you describe it?
Your chances of success.
Yeah, based on like, it's kind of a gap assessment between you and your spouse on certain topics that we think matter to couples. So I don't know. Check that one out and let us know what you think of that.
How is it called on the blog?
I don't know. Sailing success. Project your sailing system, something like this. Anyway.
It's one of the last 4 or 5 posts, so check that out. It's a fun one.
Yeah, so we were working on those things. We also went through in depth our medical kit and all of our medication. We did part of that in the video we showed on YouTube. You can look at that, but that was pretty exhaustive. And the kit, some was in French, some was in English, so I went a little crazy with the label maker, but.
Yeah, and I started to input everything in a Notion database because I put everything in there. It's amazing how many products, different items we have in this medical kit for ocean. And so my intent is I didn't finish one bag. There is one sub bag in one bag that I have left to do, and I have a whole second bag to do. So, but ultimately, I think it'll be a very useful database because it will. We can do a quick search, and if we need something for headaches, and then it'll pop out. Or if we need something
antibiotics, or something,
antibiotics,
it's easy to find.
Yeah, and what bag is from, and expiration date, because at some point in time we need to renew this medicine. So instead of going through everything, then we'll be able to say, okay, this bag has like expired medicine. So
we did the database entry, but we also just oriented ourselves to the various things that were in it and how to use the things, of course, and all of that stuff. Yeah.
So anyway, it's just work in progress also for that. But I feel like a pharmacist.
I know. And if you can hear in the background, I don't know if you can or not, but it's blowing pretty hard, the wind. Which is part of our problem right now, getting out of here and actually starting our passage, which I'm sure we'll talk about. So anyway, just wanted to put that in context. So what
else we do? We did trips to the bakery and trips to the creperie and trips to Marinsol here. We're like regulars at the local restaurant.
Yeah, I don't know. Like the grandma's like grown on me now, which is definitely a sign we have to leave, I think, when you start kind of envisioning yourself living someplace. But yeah, so we were definitely eager to get back on the boat. Your mom came to visit.
Well, both my parents wanted to come see the boat. My dad hurt himself, so couldn't come. My mom came. And she was very happy to see where we're going to leave, and
she was so happy
she hadn't
to see
been watching really the YouTube videos. She was not sure how to do that, and now today she's like, oh, I can put them on TV. It feels like you guys are at home, and so now the next step is to figure out how to.
She never watched YouTube before?
It's not an app that she checks, and so anyway, now they're both excited, and so now I need to help her out to get the subtitles so she can understand what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But she's happy to see us, and so.
But that was a good visit, and the weekend she was here, we actually got to move back onto the boat because a lot of the work that was going on the inside we thought was done. So the biggest project was the adjustments to the 3D sheeting. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, that was the positions of the 3D sheeting. So that's for the Genoa. The regular boats, you might have a track, and then you slide, the clue forward or backward, and that's it. And so it's not optimum trimming. So more of a racer type thing is the 3D sheeting. So we have that option. But we're the first 52 with it, and also first with North Sails, And so those needed to be readjusted, the position, and that ended up being a huge work.
Huge job.
Very dirty. So the boat had to be kind of all protected, and so
because they screw the attachments for the 3D sheeting into the roof. And so when they have to move them, they have to pull them out, fill the holes, but then reinforce the spots for the new fasteners, I guess. And so it's just a messy job. It's not hard. It just takes this time consuming and messy. So they had to rip the whole ceiling out. We had to basically move all of our stuff out of the main salon area. And
at the same time, there was work to be done on the floor, cosmetic work. So you have people working on the ceiling and you have people working on the floor. So, of course, they step on each other. And so that had to be the
was
work.
Tough.
So the one work had to be done before the other and alternate. So this is the type of stuff, that was happening.
Yeah. And there were a bunch of things that needed to be done, but none of them were major. The biggest major thing was the 3D sheeting, but everything else were small, achievable jobs. It was just there were a lot of them.
It's everything takes. It's a reminder, like if you work on boats, if you have aspirations to do projects, and I mean, every day I'm looking at it, and I'm so thankful that we have a proper warranty because. It's like, okay, we could do this job, but if you are now in remote places and trying to figure out how to get the parts and how to get the proper knowledge and to do it right, this will take away from all the enjoyment of. I mean, it's part of.
And it's still going to be like we're still going to have things to do, obviously, and as things break, we're going to have to fix them ourselves too over time. It's just nice to have this phase where we can sort of get as much sorted out as possible.
Yes.
And like there's little teeny tiny things like sealing the shower door a little bit better so it doesn't leak water on the floor. Like these aren't big deal things, and you could do them. To other things like the release lines for the reefing hooks when we were in the really windy and we were using the reefing lines because they're such light lines to release, they kind of blew everywhere into the other lines, which just is not good, doesn't need to happen. So we're just securing those down. So it's not a big deal. It's just helpful to
I mean, it takes time to figure out the right solution and put it in place, and just you have to screw through
He's looking up at the ceiling right now because we still have a panel exposed.
But then you're like, oh, where is it going? What's under where you're going to screw? And,
you don't quite know.
You have cabling, you have different, things.
You don't just want to like put a drill bit through it,
So quickly it becomes more challenging. Lots and lots of projects. We have a few more. I think we have 10 points that have to be finalized, and it's nothing too big. We're hoping tomorrow, Monday.
We have Starlink though. That's exciting. We have our sail locker.
Sail locker?
Our sail locker shelving.
They're in the forepeak. We've got shelves.
Yeah.
And so you can get organized. Otherwise, we have these nice big forepeaks, but everything, gets piled up. So now we have a way. We have not only shelves, soft shelves, but we have bags that are also hang on the side. So suddenly we are using the space up high and on the side. So it's so nice because we need to move as much stuff over there to free up the office
the multi-purpose room was like piled to the tippy top. I'm like, what is going on in here? It just ended up being like a big trash pile, basically. So now we're getting a little bit more organized. So we moved back into the boat. We thought, okay, there's going to be some lingering things that need to be done. Like they had to repaint the roof with the, what do they call it? The grip deck or whatever, where they put it's like a grippy anti-slip,
something.
So we were sort of expecting to be done, and so what we did do in our great ambition was we wanted to install cork, which we really liked. So the guys came to install the cork, but what had happened is the weather was bad, so they couldn't paint the roof. They couldn't prep the roof to paint the roof. So everything was piled up in terms of the workload. So that was a bummer because then the guys are putting in the cork and then there's 49 people on the boat, it seemed like.
For all week, except Monday, which was like really, really bad weather. So they were trying to do everything. So that was very a hectic week this last week when it should have been. We were hoping it would be kind of more of a prep week for us, but that ended up being kind of running around and trying to follow all these different projects. And so, but we're closer to the end of it.
The boat now looks like, we're like living in it. Everything's put away mostly. Everything has a little place for it now. The cork is done. It looks really good. We're waiting on a couple other things to get done. And
the thing that we're missing is to be testing, to go out sailing and test kind of the major systems. We haven't used the boat for 4 weeks. Test the water maker, test the electronics while we're sailing, test all kind of major
They came and
systems.
did all these adjustments, and it's like, they do the adjustments and then you hope something else didn't break, or get disconnected. So
unfortunately, we had a weather window Saturday, but cork got delayed, so we stayed at the dock. That means, and the weather being the way it is right now, full-blown winter, being hammered by the wind coming south and coming all the way from Gibraltar, it feels where we want to go. We don't have many opportunities to go out for an afternoon and test everything. So on one way, we don't have a weather window that's going to take us all the straight away to the Canaries. So we might have to take a very short weather window just to go to the coast of Spain and then try to find a way down the coast little by little until we find something better. So if we have a short hop to do, kind of a short, then we'll be able to test this. And if something is not right, then it's okay. We're not gone for a few days.
Yeah.
But that's definitely something that we haven't been able to do. But that was part of the plan that we would after the Navage, we will test all the major systems.
Mm-hmm. So we're getting a little bit of a late start out of Le Grand Mont, and the weather isn't at all cooperating. So we'll see what happens. We have some exciting announcements.
We do?
That we're not going to announce today.
We don't?
Well, we have them, but we're going to announce them in our video on YouTube. So you can check that out, but I will I give a little preview because our podcast listeners are special.
Yeah.
Should I share?
Yeah, go for it.
So,
first, when is the video coming out?
Yeah, so we're coming out with a video. We're going to talk about our passage plan. We're going to talk about some things we're excited about. I'll leave the big reveal to the video. But one of the other reveals that we're going to do is we're actually planning to do a maiden voyage vlog series. So we will do, because we have Starlink, we're trying to, once we get going, we want to do a daily video on our passage and have it be kind of just opening the black box of what a passage is like, what it's like to live on a boat during a passage as it's happening. So we're excited about that, but it's not going to be these highly produced videos. They're going to be what they are, because that's the best. We all have watches and we have to sleep and we have to cook and clean and do everything else and hopefully not get seasick, knock on wood.
What are we going to talk about?
Well, you want to kind of talk about that?
Yeah, so we hired a weather router on land, and that will be advising us on weather. So we want to be able to every day to share information about what's expected, what's forecasted Of course, there is the forecast and there is the actual weather. So in the subsequent video, the next day, we'll talk about what truly happened, so people can get a feel of, those forecasts are pretty good. But of course, there's a lot of variables, so things can change. We'll definitely highlight some of the performance of the boat. People are always interested about the type of sails we have, and for each of those sails, the wind angles and the speed and stuff like this. So we'll try to capture that. We'll try to capture part of the daily life.
Little vignettes about what's going on.
Yeah, maybe high point, low point, and kind of how we organize ourselves in this routine. Although getting out of Gibraltar, I'm not sure there is any kind of routine. And a recap.
Yeah, I think it'll be good. So it'll be, I guess the best way to think about it is like a daily captain's log a little bit, with a day in the life, just some vignettes. But we won't be able to do full-blown videos, so they'll be short, low production, but they'll be available hopefully every day unless one of us is down for the count. So
subscribe to a YouTube channel, and then we'll have 3 series. We talked about this. Yeah.
No. You're not supposed to talk about.
Oh.
Yeah. That's it. That's all we're going to say right now.
This really?
Yeah.
I cannot share anything else. Well, stay tuned.
It's coming out soon. So, so that's what's
Who else is coming with us in the passage? Oh, I'm not supposed to talk about this too? Oh, man. Subscribe if you want to find out.
It's exciting. He keeps opening his mouth and saying stuff.
No, I want to get people excited.
You're naughty. Stop talking. So that's kind of what's been going on with us. Like I said, we've been super busy trying to get everything done on the boat. I went through provisioning. I did that. I'm going through. We also did the safety protocols and kind of documented those for the boat.
Work in progress.
Yeah, and continue to do sort of some of the emergency protocols and how to use the VHF and stuff. So getting that nailed down. I mentioned the EPIRB and the AIS registration. We're also making some adjustments to our life jackets. So just stuff like this.
Are we going to do some podcasts while we sail?
I don't know. Well, I guess we'll see. We'll find out how much. We're just. I mean, part of me thinks like we're going to have a lot of time on our hands because we'll just be underway and we'll need things to do. A part of me, I'm looking at the weather now, trying to figure out how to get out of Gibraltar, and I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to keep from completely being anxious. So, because wavy and super windy right now, so it's hard for me to think about trying to do anything underway.
So we'll see. And that might be fun to record a few podcasts.
Yeah. What would be fun too is maybe a live, I don't know.
Oh, now you're revealing stuff.
No.
Like what?
No, we haven't really talked about doing any kind of live thing in terms of like a live, like a chat live. Vlogs, posting daily vlogs is different than a live, right? I don't know. Look at you smiling.
Many things to reveal.
Ooh.
Yeah, so how long is that going to last?
I don't know.
Well,
but we would also love people's ideas. Like if you guys have ideas or things.
Can we share our passage plan?
No, not yet.
My goodness. It's not complicated. People want to know where we're going.
I know. Well.
Is that secret?
I guess it's not. You want to just reveal everything now?
No, not reveal, but we can reveal where we're going.
Okay, well, go ahead then.
Well, we've talked about it before. We are bringing the boat to the Miami Boat Show mid-February, February 14, I believe it starts in 2024.
You're missing so much context by saying that. Our destination isn't the Miami Boat Show. Our destination is the Bahamas. But we were asked to, when we told Outremer our plans, they were like, hey, you're swinging right by Miami. You want to, show Alwyn at the boat show because it will be the only 52 in the U.S. at that point, I think. Mm-hmm. And so yeah, we said yes because it's right there, and it's about exactly the same time we're passing by. So we're doing a voyage, the maiden voyage from...
So wait, if you're in the U.S. or nearby, book your plane ticket to Miami. I guess it's Fort Lauderdale, I think. But anyway.
I don't think it's Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, somewhere around
no,
here.
No, it's not.
Book your plane ticket and we'll...
Well, what we would love to do, what I was going to say is we're going from France to Miami on multiple legs, obviously, as we make our way to the Bahamas. But we would love to be able to meet people in Miami as well. And I think we're trying to figure out how to host a meetup while we're there, if people are interested in that.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Get in touch, and then we'll probably may organize something and then coordinate.
Stefan will definitely organize something. He's the social butterfly in the family. Yeah. He's always up for making plans. So that's cool. Yeah, so that's what we have going on. And if you guys have any ideas about what you want to hear about or cover while we're going through one of these legs, we'd love to hear that too. Mm-hmm. Cool.
Anything else?
No, I think...
On the podcast, that's no secret, yeah? So we will definitely keep doing the podcast besides the videos. And as we cruise and meet other cruisers, we're definitely going to shift more of the podcast to interviewing other cruisers. So if you're interested to learn about different cruisers' stories, then definitely subscribe.
Yeah, as people want to talk about it, because I did that early on. I think as we were kind of underway, was it our first season or our second season, where I was able to get more people on the podcast, and I think listeners really like to hear the stories of people.
It's fun.
It's definitely fun, and it's
fun for us too.
For sure. Yeah. Okay, so that's what we have going on. Sorry it took us so long to get an update out to you guys, but we're getting it done, and we're excited to sort of get the show on the road, as they say.
And then we keep hearing people I just discovered your podcast, and so even though it's been 5 year old. So if you know people who might be interested, then for sure. share the link. So people can find out, because they seem to especially enjoy the first two seasons as we go.
Because we were on a boat.
No, the first two seasons.
Oh, you mean as we were prepping and stuff?
The changing the lifestyle, and so just share it.
Yeah. So fair winds for now.
Bon vent.